Greetings and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brett and I'm glad you're here for another video. Okay, so over the weekend, despite being literally up to my chin in books, I was out and I could not resist picking up some novels. This video has been a long time coming because I have not posted anything other than books that I picked up from collection, not book hauls or anything of that nature. So these books are part of me just out and about shopping, and I picked these books up for 650 pennies. $6.50. I picked up all these books and I can't wait to show them to you. But before I do that, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who is subscribed to my channel, everyone who likes the videos, everyone who comments on the videos, everyone who has taken the time to be a part of this community. I really appreciate that. Everyone who has bought me a book or a cup of coffee, everyone who has purchased anything from the Black Lit Geek Bookstore. I appreciate all of you. As of the making of this video, Black Lit Geek channel has grown to 14,757. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Check out all of these books. Let's waste no time getting into these books. The first is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. This book was ranked like 60. This book was ranked number 62 in classic literature, 248 in literary fiction, and 279 in children's classics on Amazon. To pick this book up for like 50 cents is dope. This is a book on a banned book list. And there's also what I consider to be a companion book, but it's actually the retelling. Everyone did reviews on it and everything last year. So in my mind, they are companion books. There's James, which is by Percival Everett and is the retelling of this story. It's beautiful, you see. We just gonna sell old Caesar here. He escapes and we just sell him again. I mean, he's already a runaway, so it should make y'all know never mind. He ain't worth much dead. They can't lynch you but once, but we can sell you a bunch of times. Slavery was cruel, but it was the law. Huck Finn grew up along the Mississippi in the days of slavery. Huck was a homeless rebel, a boy who loved freedom more than respectability. Huck isn't above lying and stealing, but when he meets up with Jim, a runaway slave, he has a battle with his conscience. Jim tells Huck that his owner wants to sell him to a slave trader down the river for $800. Jim wants to go north to a free state. If he helps Jim escape, knows he'll be in serious trouble with the law. But can he turn Jim in when all Jim wants is to be free? Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Another book, Apple Classic, it was sitting right next to it, is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. He's always one step ahead of trouble. When there's trouble, that's where you'll find Tom Sawyer. Who else would get out of the boring job of whitewashing a fence by tricking every boy in town to do it for him? And when Tom teams up with rascally Huck Finn, the trouble doubles. The adventures and fun never end in this all-time favorite by one of America's greatest storytellers. Tom Sawyer. Next book I picked up was A Midsummer Night's Dream, William Shakespeare, Barnes & Noble Shakespeare, edited by Mario Diangi. Shakespeare's hilarious, though often unnerving, story of desire, confusion, and magic has delighted audiences for 400 years. Something else happened for 400 years. We're just not going to talk about that today. Okay. So the Barnes & Noble Shakespeare A Midsummer Night's Dream is based on the text of the first quarto of 1600, proving a text as close as possible to the play Shakespeare wrote. So, yeah. This was published by Barnes & Noble in 2007. Okay. This book is Christopher Paul Curtis. It's called Bud Not Buddy. It's a scholastic book, and this kind of captured me when I picked it up in the store. I was reading the back of it and I was just like, I have to have this. It's 1936 in Flint, Michigan. Times may be hard and 10-year-old Bud may be a motherless boy on the run, but Bud's got a few things going for him. He has his own suitcase full of special things. He's the author of Bud Coswell's Rules and Things for Having a Funnier Life and Making a Better Liar Out of Yourself. His mother never told him who his father was, but she left a clue. Flyers advertising Herman E. Calloway and his famous band, the Dusky Devastators of the Depression. Bud's got an idea that those flyers will lead him to his father. Once he decides to hit the road and find his mystery man, nothing can stop him. Not hunger, not fear, not vampires, not even Herman E. Calloway himself. Wow. It's the winner of the Newbery Medal and the Coretta Scott King Award. Sad. I get a little choked up just reading that. Wow. The next was Jamaica Kincaid, Annie John. Annie John, the story of a young girl coming to age in Antigua. Kincaid tore open the theme that lies at the heart of all fierce, incantatory novels, the ambivalent and essential bonds created by a mother's love. In this novel, written in Kincaid's lucid, elemental style, Annie John's ambivalence is universally familiar and retchingly real. Definitely a good book. The Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder, C.L. Miller. It's a quote in here from Oscar Wilde that says, "Know thyself was written over the portal of the antique world. Over the portal of the new world, be thyself shall be written." 2024, this is a book from last year. Freya Lockwood is shocked when she learns that author Crockleford, antiques dealer and her estranged mentor, has died under mysterious circumstances. She has spent the last 20 years avoiding her quaint English hometown, asking her to investigate. But when she receives a letter from author asking her to investigate, sent just days before his death, Freya has no choice but to return to a life she'd sworn to leave behind. Joining forces with her eccentric Aunt Carol, Freya follows clues to an old manor house for an antiques enthusiast weekend. But not all is as it seems. It's clear to Freya that the antiques are poor reproductions, and her fellow guests are secretive. Can Freya and Carol discover the truth before the killer strikes again? The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, good movie. John Boyne. This was a World War II novel. Berlin, 1942. When Bruno returns home from school one day, he discovers that his belongings are being packed in crates. His father has received a promotion and the family must move to a new house far, far away, where there is no one to play with and nothing to do. A tall fence stretches as far as the eye can see and cuts him off from the strange people in the distance. But Bruno decides that there must be more to the desolate place than meets the eye. While exploring his new environment, he meets a boy whose life and circumstances are very different from his own, and their meeting results in a friendship that has devastating consequences. I know how this story ends, but Boy in the Striped Pajamas. E. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. Named one of the New York Public Library's Books of the Century and one of Time Magazine's all-time 100 novels. The Great Gatsby, third book, stands as the supreme achievement of his career. This exemplary novel of the jazz age has been acclaimed by generations of readers. The story of the fabulously wealthy Jay Gatsby and his love for the beautiful Daisy Buchanan of lavish parties on Long Island, when the New York Times noted gin was the national drink and sex the national obsession. It is an exquisitely crafted tale of America in the 1920s. Oh my gosh. I hope that everyone is doing well. I hope that everyone is taking the time to read. I hope that everyone is enjoying life or making the best of the life that you are living. Find some time to read. It's super important, and you have to find a way to break up the monotony. And it's not on social media. I'll tell you right now, it's not on social media. Social media is cool. I love social media. I love being on YouTube, but that mindless scrolling, that thing is terrible. I think history will prove just how terrible that is on us and has been on these younger generations. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Nuts, huh? You know, when I looked at this book, I saw what I thought was a bookmark. You see right here. And so when I started pulling it out, I was like, oh. Okay. It's not $100 in here, but this is The Bluest Eye, and I've wanted this book. I've seen this book in bookstores so many times, but I wanted a used copy of it. I did not want a brand new copy because it's too easy to get a brand new copy. So I waited and waited and waited, and I ended up with this very, very good copy of this book. It's a great copy of it. It's in great condition. Proud to have this copy. Bacola Breedlove, a young black girl, prays every day for beauty. Mocked by the other children for the dark skin, curly hair, and brown eyes that set her apart, she yearns for the blonde hair and blue eyes that she believes will allow her to finally fit in. Yet, as her dream grows more fervent, her life slowly starts to disintegrate in the face of adversity and strife. A brilliant examination of our obsession with beauty and conformity. Toni Morrison's virtuosic first novel asks powerful questions about race, class, and gender with a subtlety and grace that have always characterized her writing. Very, very much. You know, so many book people post this novel on their channel and talk about it and all of those things, and I was just waiting for my time. I figured I would get to it, but now I'm there. Cheetum, The Prophecies of Nostradamus. Erica Cheetum, The Prophecies of Nostradamus. More than 400 years ago, the French physician and astrologer Nostradamus foresaw tomorrow's headlines in a series of astounding predictions that proved to be startlingly accurate. Among other things, he foresaw the execution of King Charles I, the rise and fall of the Third Reich in Germany, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and the wars in the Middle East, and many more. In his new volume, scholar Erica Cheetum presents the original, complete texts of Nostradamus' predictions, as well as fresh translations and interpretations of these quatrains. She focuses on new and startling predictions through the end of the millennium. Among other things, Nostradamus sees the arrival and eventual ebbing of the AIDS epidemic, the coming of the so-called Third Antichrist, the advent and outcome of a Third World War. This is the last word on Nostradamus' prophetic writings, and is for all those who are fascinated by the famed clairvoyant, and those who are increasingly concerned about the troubling events of the coming years. Okay. 2 more books. Robert Henrison, translated by Seamus Heaney, is The Testament of Crecede and 7 Fables. Some say he made a tomb of marble gray and wrote her name on it and an inscription in golden letters above where she lay. These were the words set down: Lo, fair ladies, Crecede of Troy town, accounted once the flower of womanhood, of late a leper, under this stone lies dead. The Cross and the Lynching Tree by James Cone. It's the last book. The Cross and the Lynching Tree by James Cone. No one has explored the spiritual world of African Americans with the depth or breadth of Cone. Here he turns his attention to 2 symbols that dominate not only the spiritual world, but also the daily life of African Americans in the 20th century. In their inextricable tie, he finds both the terror and hope that governed life under violent racism, as well as potent symbols of the African American past and present in the United States. Potent Symbols kind of reminds me of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, The ISIS Papers. If you haven't read that, pick it up. It's the University of Chicago Press. Just the FYI. Okay, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed these books. If you did, click the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of them. Let me know which books you've read or which books you would be interested in putting in your TBR. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Aggregate what they can do with the PS team effects. And we talk about